Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome to this message that I felt inspired to share with you guys today. It's come as per usual whenever I do these messages. It's come from really my journaling, really some of my deep inner work today. And I just wanted to give this simple reminder, which has come forth for me and is definitely at the heart of a lot of things going on in my life. And it just comes down to the simplicity of what we're focusing on. So that's really what I want to just kind of have a little conversation and open dialogue with you guys today around, in the hope that it actually really supports you and supports, whatever you're going through in your life right now, whatever you're experiencing. If it's not quite what you're after, if it's not quite what you want, just this reminder to come back into the reality that you get to choose what you experience, and you get to choose what you're focusing on as the path towards determining your experience. Hey, Elliot, it has been a while. I know. Good to have you here. Lovely to see you guys. As you're tuning in, I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. Don't mind all the mess in the background. Right now I'm rearranging some things, and I just realized what a mess. And hello to Hannah, good to see you. So yeah, tune in, say hi, but join in today's conversation. And just as a reminder, nothing new for those of us who are into our personal development, and we're looking to, create the life that we actually want to experience, and live a life of, fulfillment, of joy, of abundance, of just reverence for this opportunity to live as we are and with everything that we have access to. And so today, I'll get to your comments and your questions at the end as per usual. I love tuning in and checking in with you guys. So Domain, I'll answer your question really shortly. And hello to beautiful Celine joining. So good to see you, beautiful. But today, I just wanted this to be a reminder of what you're choosing to focus on in your life, because at the moment, as you guys who follow me a bit, you know that I'm always learning about something or doing something, right? And right now I've chosen to go back into A Course in Miracles. And this is a book, if you haven't come across it, I might even show you guys a little bit of it. But this book, A Course in Miracles, I've got a really old copy of it that, funnily enough, jumped kind of off the shelf at a secondhand bookshop in the place that I live now. When I came and originally first lived here back in 2014, and I've been all sorts of travels between then, but I've circled back and ended up back in this beautiful place, Noosa in Queensland, Australia. And there's something energetically about it that just always keeps me coming back. But basically, I'm going through that Course in Miracles, and every day there's a new lesson. There's a lesson for 365 days of the year. And basically, the book is a mind training. It's to help us to wake up to become conscious of our thoughts and where they direct us. And basically how everything comes down to loving and truthful, or fearful and false. If I just want to simplify it, but it's not a simple text at all. And it's one that really challenges your mind, your mindset, how you perceive the world, how you perceive reality, how you discern what reality is and what it's not. And today's lesson, as I've circled back to it, I'm up to lesson 16, which is basically that we know, like, we don't have any neutral thoughts. And basically what that means is every thought that we have, is basically having an impact on our lives. It's generating the next thought and the next thought, which lead to actions, which lead to experiences that we're having. And basically, it just brought me back to the awareness of what I'm focusing on, right? And I realized that, and reminded myself of, and hopefully this reminds you guys as well, that basically when I focus on what I'm grateful for, what I have, right? What I have, rather than what I don't have, right? I'm grateful, right? I'm instantly and naturally in a state of abundance, like I have a smile on my face, my heart is full. I feel like a sense of trust and faith in the unfolding of my life and what comes next. And there's a peacefulness to it, there's an abundance to it, right? Versus when I'm finding and focusing on things I think I don't have, right? Maybe that's in comparison to others. Maybe that's in, just negating or taking for granted that which I do have in striving for something bigger and better. When I come from that place of focusing on what I don't have, like the opposite becomes my reality, right? I feel, instead of grateful, I feel anxious, I feel defeated, right? I don't, and instead of abundant, I'm in scarcity. Instead of authentic and flowing, I feel fake and restricted, right? All of these different opposing ways of experiencing reality, all due to what I'm focusing on. And it's all available to us. We can choose to focus on what's here and what we have. We can choose to focus on what we perceive to be missing and that we don't have, right? And it will generate a completely different experience. When I came across this kind of, focus on what you're grateful for and so forth, I used to have this inner kind of thought come up and go, okay, that's all great, but like, then won't I just like never strive for anything? Then won't I just settle for like mediocrity and never challenge myself and never reach my potential? And that's the kind of thought that our ego wants us to attach to, right? It thinks it's trying to keep us safe. If we're always striving, we're always going for more, nothing's ever quite good enough, so we can always keep the needle moving forward, right? But if you really just take a step back, and I know from my own personal experience at this stage, and I'm assuming you guys will probably have your experience, you will have your experiences with this as well. But basically, when I'm coming from that striving, focusing on what I don't have, I need this, that fearful energy, right? That restricted energy, nothing ever works out for me, right? It's hard work. It's always pushing forward, right? Because I'm coming from the wrong place. Striving or moving towards things that we want and we're inspired by is not in and of itself a bad thing, right? It's just, where is that coming from? If it's coming from fear, scarcity, lack, focused on what I don't have, right? Coming from that kind of fake and fearful place, versus when I'm tapped into what I'm grateful for, what's abundant in my life, like I'm instantly just naturally put in a state of a pureness, of inspiration, of freedom, of flow, of a faith in, moving forward, being guided by inspiration. Like I can actually move forward towards things that would be amazing to co-create in this life, in this existence. But it's coming from this love, and everything flows easily and naturally from that place. So it really comes down to, are you willing to let go of your fearful striving because of what you think you don't have, so that what opens up is this focus on what we have, not taking things for granted, what we are abundant with, what we can be grateful for, and start with the smallest things. It doesn't have to be big things. The fact, if you compared your existence right now to that of your ancestors, what you would find is that we are living an absolute dream. Think back with that. Like my granny, my 98-year-old beautiful granny, is a survivor of the Holocaust who lost her parents when she was 12 years old to concentration camps, who had to get shipped off to a whole other country where she didn't speak the language and learn it all from scratch, not knowing what ever happened. She only recently, in the last year, really confirmed what actually happened to her parents. To go into foster homes in England and have to learn English, and do all of these things and all of that, right? Go through the war and go through, just the lack of things that, were not available to her and to anybody living at that time. And look at what we are doing now. I can just jump on this random Facebook Live. I have no idea about the technology of how I'm reaching you beautiful souls across the globe, right? Talking about things that we get to talk about, right? If you're in struggle, survival of what our ancestors have had to go through, you're not getting to think about big thoughts and getting abundant and getting to like have access to be grateful and create anything that you choose to create, are you? You know? And so if we can just put things in perspective, we can wake ourselves up to how we're limiting ourselves, how we are in control. Our free will is allowing us to live and experience our life either in abundance or scarcity, either in gratitude and freedom and fulfillment, or, you know, that self-defeatism, that comparison, that lack, right? That fear, that fakeness, all of that stuff is available to us, but it's up to us as to what we choose to focus on, and therefore how we choose to experience the gift of life that has been given to us in this realm, right? And so, you know I can go off all day about these sort of topics with you guys, but that's really what's on my heart today and what's come through. And, you know, whatever way you choose to wake up, whatever path, there's so many paths. I'm exploring them all, you know, from every different culture. You know, I love that. I love, you know, that I get to be this kind of blank slate that can go down all sorts of different paths, right? The Eastern philosophies, the Western philosophies, dropping all philosophies, like just going into experience, like all of it. And right now, me circling back to A Course in Miracles is just giving me another outlet, another path to go deeper in my awareness and train my mind to become aware of what it is creating in moment to moment, and whether or not that is the life and the experience of life that I choose to live. And the same is available to each and every one of us. So hope that this message just sparked something within you. Maybe it just gets you to just stop for a moment and realize, oh my gosh, like I've been in such scarcity. I've been focusing on all these things I think I don't have. And what if I just took a moment right now? And this is not to just kind of pretend to be positive, right? And just go, oh yeah, I'm grateful for all these things, but you're not actually feeling it. I'm talking about embodying this, like waking up to the reality of what you have, being so grateful for it. And naturally, the occurrence is you come back to your true self, to the core of who you are. And that is free, it's peaceful, it's blissful, it's grateful, it's loving, right? And from that place, you will be the most magnificent creator of the life that you are destined to create, right? You're not ever going to get it if you focus on lack, if you keep that kind of scarce mentality, if you're always focused on what you don't have rather than being grateful for what you do. You just nothing's ever going to flow for you. Believe me, I've been there. I fall into that pattern all the time. But I recognize time and time again, I've hit the brick wall so many times. I realize, like, God, I gotta find a different strategy because that just ain't working, right? And the strategy that I've found is having faith that if you're grateful for what you have now, so much unlocks for you. So much becomes an easy flow when you tap into the subtleties of your inspiration that's guiding you, right? Rather than finding and focusing all these fearful motivations from the external world that your mind and your ego want to attach to and try and strive for and push you forward, nothing falls into place that's true from that place. So hope that this just reminds you of that. I know it's not a new way of thinking, but you know, sometimes we just need to come back to the simplicity of what we're focusing on. So let me check in with you guys. I've got Elliot. It's so good to see you in Hana and Domain. Do I have a regular upload schedule? I used to, and now it's kind of just flows with, you know, what's coming forward for me. I tend to kind of want to go into this very deep work. I'm kind of taking a very different realm, and sometimes when you're waking up to things, right, that you've been asleep to, sometimes it can be incredibly introverted work, right? Introspective, introverted, and that's why you might not see me at times, because I'm still letting things sink in, letting like awakenings kind of land for me, because sometimes going out in the external world can be a big distraction. It can, you know, cut us off from what we're learning. It can kind of put it back to square one. So sometimes you don't see me for that reason. But, you know, the more you guys let me know that these messages are of value to you, the more inspired that part within me becomes to make sure that I'm. So if it is a value and you'd love to see me more regularly, then, you know, just drop me a comment or shoot me a message and let me know that. And it does give me more inspiration to come out and share more of these thoughts, because these thoughts are happening all the time. So Celine, hello, beautiful lady. So good to see you. Oh, thank you for those kind words. Beautiful soul, so good to see you. And the more grateful you are, the more you have to be grateful for. Absolutely. And I know that you are such a beautiful example of what it is to embody gratitude every single day. I know you wake up and go to sleep thinking about these things. So, yeah, thank you for being such a beacon of gratitude, my beautiful soul sister. And Sanford, yay. Wow, I read that book about a year ago and tuned back and went through the worksheets. I picked it up back up 3 days ago and I'm going back through it again. That is an amazing course to go through, absolutely. And I love our in syncness. It is so powerful. So highly recommend it to everybody. If you haven't given it a chance, A Course in Miracles, it's well worth it if you're somebody who wants to wake up to reality and go through a bit of a mind training, and in pretty intense mind training. So love that, Sanford. Awesome. I'd love to hear more about your experience with it and your revelations. That's awesome. And Joel's here, and Kelly. Fear is so difficult to overcome. It is. But, you know, one of the things that I really learned in A Course in Miracles is that fear is not in and of itself actually a thing. Think about it this way. Fear is just a lack of love. All right. And so if this is something that intrigues you to kind of understand, then yeah, I recommend checking out A Course in Miracles. But really, when we have that awareness that fear, my experience of fear is just a lack of love. How can I find that, right? So yeah, and I'm big on that. Choosing love over fear every day. Fear is the falsity, the survival mechanism, the strategy for our survival that our ego thinks it needs. There's lots of strategies to overcome fear, but sometimes we just need to become aware of what that actually is. What are we trying to protect ourselves from? And how can we bring love into this moment, into this awareness? I know that can sound kind of esoteric. If you want some deeper help, I absolutely do that with individuals, so I can work with you personally. You can always reach out. But thank you for being here, Kelly. So appreciate you. And Joel, good morning to you from the Philippines. That's awesome. So good to have you here. And Peter's here as well. And Huang, awesome. And Iliad, Ilalid, Idalid, I should say. I should slow down and just read that for a second. Okay, here we go. Gratitude is the memory of the heart. Oof, I love that. That is so beautiful. Thank you so much for the awareness. You bring so much to everyone. Oh, love and blessings. Thank you so much for such beautiful, kind words. And I love having you here. As per usual, my friend, thanks for showing up and thanks for spreading that kindness. And what a beautiful quote. I love that. And Georgina's here as well. And Italy is from Mexico. Awesome. That's so cool. And Kelly from Ontario, Canada. Amazing. And Elwash is here as well. And Sanford, thank you. It is so freaking awesome to see you now and then. Oh, I love that, Sanford. I love seeing you too, my friend. So good. And Celine, so unbelievably grateful to have you in my life, my gorgeous little sister. And right back at you, my amazingly gorgeous big sister. And Elliot, when are you coming to California? Soon, my friend. I can't wait to get back to the States. It's been a little while, but yeah, I'll probably be here for a little bit and I'll let you know when I'm headed your way. And Joel, thank you, Vanessa. I'm train operator from the Philippines. We always watch you here in the Philippines. Oh, that touches my heart. So good to hear that. Thank you so much to each and every one of you guys for showing up. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for tuning into this message, and thank you for your contributions to it as well. I really hope this landed in your heart, and just tying that off with Idolid's quote, gratitude is the memory of the heart. Stop forgetting, right? Remember what is available to you. You have access to that reminder, and therefore your experience of life right here, right now, in any moment you so choose. So choose to remember, choose to wake up to all that is available to you. Focus on what you have, and trust that when you make that shift to abundance within, everything flows. You tap into that inspiration, follow that guidance. It is here to allow the life, the fulfillment that you really want to actually unfold naturally. All right, so love that. And hello to Graham and anybody else who is joining just now. I hope you guys catch the recording, get a ton of value from today's message, and so much love coming your way. And I'll see you very soon. Thanks so much for showing up. Mwah.